Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through the live order flow within Bookmap so that you can read the order flow, understand the participants' behavior, and then project where price might go. That's what the edge of Bookmap or order flow offers, is being able to understand that auction process with much more clarity than using your candlesticks and indicators. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, just a quick update here. Blue Jacket, we mentioned this last week, but it launched actually just last week. I didn't update the today part here. If you want to partake in it, you can take a screenshot or you can go to the Bookmap Academy page or chat room. That's where it takes place now, and that's the big change here. Okay, not only is there a new competition for this month, but it takes place within the Bookmap Academy room. That's where you'll tag your content for the competition with BJC, hashtag BJC. So we'll know if it's for the competition. Okay, you can get Bookmap for free for 3 months, including data as a winner. And there's a runner-up winner as well. You will be part of the Bookmap Academy at that point, which is great. If you don't like it or not, you don't have to participate, but you will be a part of it, and you will post and get feedback from the Academy. So we've kind of integrated these two together, and that was the goal here. All right, so the competition takes place within the Bookmap Academy chat room. All right. So let's jump in here, take a look at what's going on in the market. We're looking at the S&P E-mini, and it's Monday, and we're going to go through our top-down approach in here, but let's just take a quick look at what's happening here. Seeing a lot of selling coming in. Actually, we're at the bottom edge of this little area. We broke it, actually. I'm still looking for sellers to come in and reach these lower levels. In fact, let's see if we can even take a quick scalp on that. Potentially. Now again, I need to mention in here, this is we're in simulated mode. Look in the lower right hand corner here, and we are looking to take advantage of specific opportunities in here, and we'll see if we get some sellers in here, we see some heavy selling right now. We're getting a bit of a pullback, but we're looking for follow through on that sell side, okay, to trade into here and through it. We may even cancel this one if we don't see those sellers, okay, but that's what we're looking for in here. In fact, I think I will cancel it. I'll just use my mouse as a button and click on it there, and the order is canceled. As you can see, this is where I entered it, and this is where I just canceled it. Okay. All right. I want to just go and we're just doing this as well for looking for opportunities in here, but also going through the trading functionality in Bookmap, so you guys know how to use these tools for trading. And we'll continue to demo them again and again. Right. So yeah. I'll go over what I saw in here to cancel this. I still think we're probably going to get the push through, but I did not want to get in at the bottom edge in here when I saw this break a structure and some volume here as well. So maybe a bit more of a pullback, and then we can get maybe some follow through here to the downside. All right. All right. Good morning, Alois. And here we go. I just turned my head away, and we're just missing it. That's fine. We'll look for the next potential setup here, but looking for the move back down to about 02 or the figure 5200 down here, which we have not tested yet today. You can see the cash open here at 930, then move down to about this 02 level, and then we're looking for a retest back down to there. Okay. and there it goes. Yeah. Yeah. So just trading into almost here at 5,200. Okay, looking for it though. We'll go over this trading potential opportunity in here, what we're looking at, and why I can't. We already covered why I canceled it, but we're going to take a step back and look at the bigger picture in here. And we had this top-down approach. I'll turn this into a much better document for you guys. And very, very simple day trading preparation plan here. It's a top-down approach, and I'm sure if you have your plan out there, there's elements of this in there as well. Okay, because it's a very simple plan, but we have something. And we want to have something. We want to check up on the fundamentals, the bigger picture. These are the catalysts, this economic calendar and geopolitical news, the catalysts that move price. And we're looking for that event, some sort of event out there that is making price move. Okay? Typically it is through news, the big events. I was trained by, wow, this turned into a really nice move, guys. Just kick myself on that. But anyway, we're coming back down to another swing right around this 190 level. So we'll look for some sort of reaction if we get down there. Okay. All right. Anyway, the bigger picture approach and the fundamental events, okay, economic calendar, along with the geopolitical environment here to understand what are traders reacting to. All right. So now we have quite a we have some news this week here. It's not as heavy as the last couple of weeks. That's very typical. All right. Beginning of each month, we have the non-farm on the first Friday, and then typically the FOMC is within the first couple of weeks, and we had the CPI last week, and we do have retail sales. Well, we did have retail sales this morning. Okay, so we did have that, which the market reacts to. All right, so and the numbers were pretty good for retail sales. So that's still showing this environment, inflationary environment. Okay? So I mean, people are spending, so they do have the money, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to ascertain that one. Or put that into perspective. I mean, typically CPI retail sales, we see a rise in the numbers in here. We have a hot economy. Okay, this is what the Fed is trying to temper. All right, so and that's through interest rates, and that's why we see the market reacting this way with good news. All right, so we continue to sell off here. Wow, we're already through the 190. God, that was a really nice opportunity that was missed. I would have taken some profit on that at the figure anyway, but right around this area right in here. So it would have been like I don't know, 5 or 10 point or something like that. But anyway, that's what we see here. Let's take a look at our bigger picture approach still. All right, let's not get caught up in the price action immediately here, but we'll go through this pretty quickly. So we went through retail sales. Geopolitical, I didn't really look this morning, but we know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the Middle East and around the globe, but that also can have an effect on price. Technicals, bigger picture. So we haven't looked at that yet either. Right. So let's do that. We're going to look at the daily candles, the hourly, and the 15-minute. We're going to look at inside day, outside day, and then we're going to drill down into gaps and previous swings, etc. Okay, so let's do that quickly here. We can see our daily over here. Very simple candlestick chart. We don't need to get too advanced here on a lot of this stuff. Okay, we're going to look at the price swings in here and understand that volatility is up by these. Look at these price swings and these down days here. Okay, so I don't know what the VIX is at currently, but why we're doing this is starting to understand the price action here on the daily is to then ascertain what kind of strategies we want to use going forward for the day. Right, so if there's volatility, we're looking for momentum moves. Let's take a look here. So we closed, actually, I was surprised that we did this. We closed yesterday below the previous days. Even this swing here, you can see it looks like we closed just around that swing. Here's our close on Friday, right around this 68 level, right? And we kind of opened up there here today, and you can see the move up, retesting this area here, and then we've moved back down and we're right in the middle. Okay, so this big price action here from Friday, well, we are within that price action, albeit it is a big swing. So there's a lot of sloshing around in here. We can look for some really nice moves in here, even though this is an inside day. Okay, so now on Friday we covered this. We cover every time, every session, the inside or outside day. And on Friday it was an inside day as well. We started to see it break here when we were looking for it to test some of the lower areas, which it did. And then we're looking during the webinar, at least, we're looking for it to test and then pull back. We're looking for a reversal, which we got as well. And when the webinar ended, I don't know, an hour or so later, we saw a price roll over and retest the lows and continue lower. Okay, so during the webinar, we were going long for a lot of the positions. However, it was because of the timing. Okay, the bigger picture, we mentioned it at the end of the session that it actually looked like a pretty good. I think it was right in. Yeah, it was right in here. Here's where on the 15-minute chart over here, you can see it. These swings down here, we're looking for the test to it. We got that, and then we're looking for the pullback after that. We know there's going to be some profit taking down here. There's a lot. We also know there's going to be reaction by buyers in here because there was a lot as well. We got the pullback. We got the pullback to this area here. We ended the webinar discussing that, well, this looks like a pretty good pullback for a continuation. And the continuation was pretty nice for the rest of the day. And then we can, well, that was Friday. We're still on the daily over here. On the hourly in here, you can see these really big gaps in here. This was Friday, and this is today, back up. Almost, we got this pullback here today, which has been pretty nice down to this 80 level here. We have not filled the gap. The gap is still open here. Okay, and the gap is wide open up above. We haven't even come back up into that price action from Friday yet. Okay, so we're still bearish here, basically. You can see that it climbed back up here on the 15-minute chart, back up into this area where it dropped from very rapidly on Friday. Okay, so you can see that there's not a whole lot of buyers up in here. In fact, what we found instead were sellers, and they're the ones that have driven this market lower. All right, so let's take a look now at Bookmap. Well, let's continue on actually with the plan, we looked at gaps. Now we looked at our daily and the hourly, etc. We looked at inside outside days. We looked at gaps, previous swings. Didn't look at POC or VWAP. It's not really my style, but you can as well. Outlook for the day and start to developing scenarios. And then the strategies and setups that we want to trade, then the order flow in Bookmap, and the criteria for the strategies and the setups that we are trading. Okay, this is really simple, and we want to keep it simple so we know our plan of attack every day. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but over the years, like, I have developed this plan so many times, and it gets really complex. That's what we want to avoid. Keep it simple. What are you looking at? What helps you understand the bigger picture? Okay, if you can hold all those different elements and metrics in your head, great, go for it. I cannot, so I look at just a big picture, simple plan, and then we look at the order flow in Bookmap. Okay, and then we get into the trade management. This is something we've been adding into the webinars now, okay, with some live trading. All right, so let's take a look here, and one more look at that 15-minute chart. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a pullback after this really nice move to the downside. The pullback, well, yeah, it's just kind of coming back to here where it dropped from on that second drop on Friday. We might be able to come up a little bit further and come up to these swings and retest 5200 before maybe sellers come back in. Okay, so we're getting this kind of shallow pullback at the moment, and let's take a look and see what is going on in Bookmap, and let's also look at this gap fill 170. Okay. Yeah, so down here, and there is liquidity down there as well. Let's put a horizontal line down there so that we know what we're looking for down around that 170 level. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Strong impulse move, okay, away from all of this up in here, and then let's take a look at see this little jag in here. That's where we've come back up to retest here. This is very typical in the order flow. Also areas of high liquidity, like these little zones in here or in here, we get retest to as well. But this is very, very typical here. First move, bit of covering. Second move, a retest to that second move. Okay, and let's take a look now and look at the market structure before we start looking at the volume and the order flow. Okay, starting to break some of that market structure, at least this trend line, and yeah, we'll look for continuation here to the downside. So let's just take a look here. Maybe we can find an opportunity on a retest here. Okay, so we'd maybe put a limit sell up here. If we can get maybe a retest back up here, this would be a false breakdown, or at least a retest back to this area before it turns around and goes lower. All right, so we're just seeing it just go lower, and we do see high liquidity here at 190, and that's pretty typical. After the a break like this, you'll see the sell orders on this side here. All right, so coming back down and retesting this swing where we do have buyers that come in, and again, this is on a smaller time frame, right? This is our impulse move, and this is the buying that came back in. Okay, so I am looking for a little bit of buying to come back in here as well. Okay, maybe we get another pullback here, and let's take a look at where that pullback might come. Okay, so it's already done one here. Okay, so this is an area for a pullback. There's also a little bit in here and a little bit in here. So this looks pretty good up here for a possible pullback as well. And we're just not getting it. Okay, we're just getting selling coming right in here. All right, so we're down to the swing here. And I would imagine well, we're looking for profit taking here. We should get some here, and we'll get some buyers in here as well. Okay, so this is a counter trend. Boy, I just can't get these fast enough here. a potential counter trend move in here, probably just back up to about 86 or 88 here. But again, not a trade recommendation. We're just covering in here is maybe small opportunities, and I'm missing yet another. And then we want to go over the trade management within Bookmap. Okay, that's the key in here. Okay, we're going to read the order flow. We're going to, and for years now, we've given insight to the potential move due to the order flow, and now we're going to, have some potential entries in here, and then manage the trade. Okay, because one of the elements in here to go over is understanding the setups. The second, and taking it, you want an edge, and taking that edge, taking that advantage. The next after that is being able to manage it. How do you manage it? Okay, so here we come back up into our zone here on this pullback. And we were looking for it here earlier. We didn't get it. Okay, so our next level was here. We're certainly getting it now. Right, so our limit is still up here, right? And let's look at some market structure as well. Again, we're starting to hit it, and we're starting to see some selling come in. Okay, there's some exhaustion on the sell side. Okay, so let's see if we can maybe we'll place a sell stop here, okay, and let's see if we can get. Yeah, I don't know if I like it, but we'll do it. There we go. All right. So I didn't like it because of this liquidity in here, but I saw some exhaustion in here, so we took it. All right. Now we're not looking for a whole lot out of this, but maybe back down to our target that you can see the from the brackets. It's about 20 ticks here, down to about here. Okay. All right, and I'm going to cancel this other limit up here. All right, so I have my buy stop here. If I got it wrong, I've got my buy limit down here. All right, let's take a look at some of these areas in here for potential risk management. Again, these little areas in pockets in here, we should see some reaction by buyers in these areas in here, right? We would look for that. Okay, so we are getting a reaction here by some buyers in here. Lack of selling here. Okay, let's see if those sellers come back in though. Any questions on this setup? Okay, this is like our continuation pattern basically. Okay, because you can look at this here as it's a range, but this is maybe your consolidation, your breakdown, your pullback. It is on lower volume here, but it's not the lowest. And it did pull back a lot. All right, so that's we're looking for kind of an equal move in here, but and what I mean by that, in our measured move, we have this kind of being equal to that. So we're kind of looking for something like this here, and our target is in line with that. In fact, if we want to be a little bit better, we'd probably move that target up a little bit here, maybe at 84. Okay, so we're trying to just find an edge and then look for the most probable area in here to take some profit here. All right, now if we see a lot of selling coming in here, then we just may take our limit. We may cancel it. In fact, I'm going to do that. We're going to show this here. Let's see if we can get it come back down here, and then we'll just cancel our orders right here. Cancel all open orders. Okay. See if we can do that. Yeah, okay, here they come. So I'm going to cancel. All right, so now I don't have a stop nor a take profit in here. All right, so this is what I want to demo in here. I'm going to deselect brackets, and I'm going to select OCO here. All right, this is a great way you can just jump into the market here, and then you can just now be protected with an OCO order. Order cancels order. All right, so now I'm a seller in here, right? Now to cover, I need to be a buyer. So what I'm going to do is, using this feature here, send OCO chain, is left clicking is always a buy in here. I'm going to left click once down at our 70 level, right? That was the level that we had marked up here. Okay, so that maybe is our overall target, right? And now I left click once, and now I'm going to move price up above, or my mouse above where I got in up here. I'm going to hold the shift key down, and I'm going to left click again, and there's my stop. Okay, now you can move them around. If I want to move it down to break even plus, you can do that right there. All right, so there we go. So now we can manage this trade, and we're kind of looking for this to run basically. All right, let's take a look at our bigger picture again. Let's zoom out, and let's take a look also here at our gap fill. Okay, so that's why we're looking for the move back down to this 70 level here. All right, let me see if there's any questions. Good morning, Stephen. I was going through a lot of stuff in here, guys, but I wanted to cover some of the trading activity in here, and let's see if we can get this move here. All right, so we're already at break even, and we might get stopped out, might not, but we're trying to hold for a bigger move to this 70 level here. All right, let me see if there's any questions. Nope. All right, guys over in YouTube, does this make sense? Any questions on this? Okay, we're going over some pretty simple trade management in here, and combining it with a kind of a bigger picture here. Our top-down approach. Let's take a look at this in here, and we talk about this every webinar in here. We have trade criteria for getting involved into the trade. Okay, we also have trade management criteria. Okay, so we're just about to get stopped out here, right? And we likely will. All right, they're coming up and retesting these areas in here. We've broken a trend line in here, but let's just take a look at this in here. In our trade management criteria, to be honest, like this to me, like it's back and forth in here. It will likely trade up into this area in here and reject. Okay, it will retest back up in here. Okay, so now I'm stopped out. Okay, for 2 ticks. All right. Oh, did I have a? Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah. All right. So, all right. So now, I just gave it away, right? I gave away a nice gainer here, right? We can look for other criteria, but if this bothers you, then there's ways to combat this. Okay, so let's start again here. We'll start with this impulse move, this pullback, okay, and then we saw another retest back up in here, and we're looking for another impulse move to unfold, and was looking pretty nice in here. We had our trade criteria for entering in here. We're sell side. We had a technical level up here. We had some high liquidity in here. There was one caveat that I didn't like. Well, we saw the exhaustion. That looked good. Okay, up into this level up in here. That's good. So we've got that. We've got a trend line, which just trend line just means a diagonal area of resistance here. That's it. Okay, just as you would a horizontal, which would kind of lines up here with it as well. So we had two different technical areas here for our trade idea. All right, now we're looking at the order flow in here. Now we didn't have all the pieces in here for the order flow, but we took it anyway. We saw some buying in here, but we had exhaustion in a bit of exhaustion in here, and I did not like seeing this liquidity in here. Okay, at the bottom of the range in here, because we might bounce and come back up into here, then maybe pull down. Didn't happen. Sellers came in, took us into it. I don't think it went against us once, one tick, and it continued to the downside. All right, now, and our trade criteria was met. Okay, for the setup, it wasn't the best, but it was rather met. Okay, now, our trade management criteria is another thing. So the trade management criteria, and God, it just thinking about it, jumping in again here, but we may have to just end up missing it. We've seen this move so many times that this is exactly what it does in here. A lot of times, price action, very, very common. And this is exactly why I want to cover it here, because we got stopped at a break even. Okay, we had a nice little gainer down to here though. Okay, so this was from what, 88 down to, well, the low was like 81. It's a 7-point move, and we're back down here again, but we got stopped out. Right? We want to combat that. We want to learn from that. Okay, so there's a couple different ways. Well, there's several different ways to go over this. Yep, Darren, low volume today. Yeah, it's I didn't look at the overall volume in the bigger picture, but we were just looking at some low volume pullbacks though for this move in here. Okay, so anyway, the trade management criteria in here that we want to go over is, it depends on your time frame and also your risk profile. Okay, what time frame are you trading on? You need to answer that question yourself. In these webinars, we're trading on pretty low time frames because we want to go through many trade examples or many order flow events. So we're going to be scalping in here. We're not going to be holding for very long. Right now, depending on your time frame, you might be holding for much longer. Maybe you're holding for the day. If you are, then you are looking for this to go down to that 170 level. Okay, that gap fill. And then maybe you would still be in this here. Right, but we maybe set our sights a little too lofty in here. Where it was just one contract. Okay, to keep things simple, one contract, and we're trying to hold it and look for continuation. And we got stopped out here at break even. Now, if that's something that bothers you in here, then we look for other technical levels to take some profit. If you're trading multiple contracts, you can also do this by taking some profit at some of these swings or areas down here, and also order flow events that start to shape our opinion in the trade management criteria. Okay, so so if you're trading multiples, then you would have been out maybe somewhere around, somewhere in this zone down here, and then maybe your stop was at break even. If you got stopped out, you had a small gainer, and then that would be it. The other one got stopped out at break even plus a couple ticks. But maybe you kept your stop up, above some of these other swings in here. Maybe because you're looking for a bigger move. You're going to have to widen out your stops. Otherwise, this is what happens. You'll get stopped out and you have to look for another entry. So again, that time frame and your risk management that's something you'll have to ask yourself. If you're all in with 10 lots and all out with 10 lots, and you're scalping, then that's the way that you trade. Well, then you've got to manage it a specific way. If you like to scale in and out, then that's something different as well. And we're trying to go through a lot of the different trade management considerations in here. All right, so the so we went through a few different ways. We were all in and then all out here, right? Now, could have been maybe all out down here, but that wasn't really our plan. And why? Well, because we're looking for this momentum move back down to this level down here. Okay, so we weren't anticipating this in here. Okay, we just thought the sellers would come in like they did over here, right? Instead, we got some back and forth in here, and we got stopped out. All right, so yeah, I just hate to see these things, explaining things and then missing things. Let's see, the point I wanted to cover. So you can anticipate some of this kind of price action to occur. And if that is the case and you're still looking for that momentum move, which it is unfolding, well, then you got to have a larger stop in this example. All right. Now, you can also look at this data here, and this is why you have to ascertain your bigger picture. It's an inside day. We're looking at this momentum on these smaller time frames in here, on the hourly, on the 15-minute. We also know that it's still an inside day, and some back and forth in here before a gap fill can be highly likely. That's another thing to consider. Now, if this was an outside day, and the gap was like on a daily over here, another day, well, then maybe you'd be looking for that gap fill more immediately. Okay, maybe you could look for that momentum move for that outside day, and you're not looking for this pullback in here. Does that make sense? You guys following me on that? All right. Guys over in YouTube, please hit that like button. We'll continue on with this kind of and your comments too as well. We'll continue on with this kind of content in here. All right, let's see here. What else to cover? If you guys are trading your, trading micros, like someone like Crash F16, for example, very aggressive with his trade management or entries. Great, it's a great tool to use, and look for getting aggressive on your entry with a couple of micros, and then adding more micros in as it goes your way, or scaling into a position as well. Like, maybe you get in someplace up in here and you are anticipating maybe one more push back up into here and see that it fails, and then maybe you get back in more in here and you didn't take a stop loss. This was only half or a third position over here. Okay, and you'd still be in it, and you'd be in it more. Yeah, smash the like button. Thank you, demo trader. All right, well, let's take a look here. We'll go through some other setups in here. We're going to go through our trade criteria again, and we're just getting pullback after pullback here, basically. Now let's read the volume in this pullback here. Okay, so again, this is pretty strong volume on the buy side up here, but it's way up here. Okay, so we're going to look into this move here, and look for a potential. Yeah, we just kind of missed it here, or right around here would have been a nice entry. Maybe we can still get maybe a pullback here. Again, I like the market structure. You know, guys, it doesn't have to be a trend line. Horizontal lines work just fine as well for me, but I also like looking at diagonal lines. Okay, so let's see if we can get a bit of a pullback here. We would anticipate the pullback to be, well, the first one probably right around here, 78.5. The second one up here at 80. And there we go. It's up at 80. Yeah, I don't like that big volume spike though. So I'm going to stay away from this due to this volume spike in here. See how this move here compares to this volume here? This is not what we're looking for. This is not a low volume pullback. Okay, so we're going to stay away. Guys, is it clear on the low volume pullback what we're talking about? Any strategy for Bitcoin? Yep, this is one of them. Okay, low volume pullback, or looking for these pullbacks in here in the order flow and who's in control is exactly one of them. This will work beautifully with the crypto markets as well as stocks. Okay, so look at this. Let's look at this area here. Okay, so we just had this big volume event in here on the buy side. All right, are buyers going to support this? Well, let's look at the order flow in here. This is where we're looking for buyers on the bid in here, and we're not seeing them right now. A little bit here. Okay, in fact, we can counter trend trade this here, and what we look for is this to be a trap in here and big buy volume to come on back up above. Okay, so hold on a minute here. Let me deselect OCO and select brackets. Okay, and this is what we're looking for here. Okay, we did not get the volume we wanted. Now we're getting it. All right, so let's see if we can get it here. Yeah, we'll give it a shot here. I don't like it too much, but let's see if we can. Yeah, see, it's still in play. It's still possible here for a lot of buy volume to come in up here. Okay, we're seeing a lot of sellers right now though, and we're below this buying in here. Okay, so this either is the trap volume in here, or it is the sellers taking control on another impulse move. And we're getting our answer here. It's more sellers. All right, let's take a look at all this price action in here and order flow. This was not our low volume pullback. Okay, this little area in here. And now we see a lot. Look at the bars, look at the dots. We do see a lot more selling coming in now. Okay, so see how this selling has overtaken this buying now. Okay, we know the cluster is up here. Okay, this may turn into a reversal. We'll cover the reversal trade criteria in just a minute. And it may. I mean, we're getting filled. These bids are getting filled on the way down. Okay, so we'd look for maybe some exhaustion down here, or high liquidity to trade maybe down around our 70 level. And then we're looking for a potential order flow shift and change. Okay, there's some exhaustion. There's some buying. Hmm. Yeah, a little early, too early for looking for that reversal, I think. But we see some reactions in here by those buyers. Okay, we saw it here first, then the sellers took control here. Now the buyers took control back up above it. Okay, we can see that shift and change starting to take place a bit in here. Okay, right here. Okay, so retest back up to the top of the range here. And again, this is not a low volume pullback. Okay, it was, this selling was starting to dwarf the previous pullback here. Okay, but they are back again. Okay, so we are noting that buyers are coming in. What's the difference between a responsive trader as opposed to a trap trader? The way I understand it, Alan, is responsive is, I mean, it very well may be a trap trader as well, but you know, it's a range, and the concept in responsive buying and selling is right here. Okay, that this is a range, and this is a value range. Like if you use this analogy with any other product out there, this is why, you know, you look at your kind of your bell-shaped curve, or your volume, your profiles in here. In this case, volume profile is built out in here. Okay, and up above in here is very thinly traded, so it's rejecting up here. Right, so that's the case. Now we have to discount, just to make this point here. Don't look at the SVP, just look at the CVP. Okay, so it is this range in here that is that we're interested in, and up here, price is too high. And that's why you'll see sellers come in and trade it back down into the mean or the other side of the value area. Right, and we can widen out our column, left click, hold and drag, and it's this area in here is all value. So now if you're selling in here, you're likely going to cover down here. Okay, or if there's a POC here, which, you know, just where most transactions took place are here at 180. So you know, that doesn't like bode too well, actually. because if you're selling here, well, you're only getting a little bit out of it if you are trading it back to POC. Okay, but this is where it's a concept. It's not going to go right to POC. Who cares? There's other areas in here where there's a lot of transactions as well. Okay, there's a cluster down in here. There's one here. There's one down here. There's a few down in here. So anyone selling down here because price is too high, the bigger trend is down for the day, and then you would be covering down here, and that would be your responsive selling. All right. Now, a trap traders, these buyers in here that are buying maybe at the top of the range in here, they could be trapped. Maybe it breaks out and rejects, and we have a lot of trap buyers that have to be responsive sellers. Okay, they are compelled or forced to sell. Okay, so it could be a combination. Right. So now we would anticipate. Now we're going with the trend. Okay, so this is a good area due to all these transactions to consider taking some profit. Now we're going with the trend though. So are you looking for this to be a continuation now? Well, is the order flow that'll tell us. We're seeing the volume pick up. Okay, we're also seeing here the limit buy orders here pulling. Okay, now we're looking for more on the offer in here, and we would look for the continuation move to the downside. Okay, now let's take a look again. Now what we do know typically is the selling has to be pretty big to move it away from this previous value area. Value areas are exactly that. This is where there is value in this instrument. This is what a lot of traders kind of agreed upon, this range between 75 and 82. Okay, so we need to see a lot of volume that moves it outside of that range. Okay, and right now, are we getting that? Not really. We want to see the bars here, see the dots here. That's what we're looking for down here. Okay, now we might get it. Okay, now if that's the case and you're looking for that and it's going to have to happen really quickly, well, you can put your stop in here and then look for there. I'm stopped or my buy stop is hit, and we're looking for it to take us right into it and then cover down here at 70. Okay, so that would be your continuation move, but you got to have that volume down here. You're looking for that, and you're also looking for these guys to pull on the bid and add on the offer, and we can get a nice move. Okay, so instead you can see that we're turning into the trap. All right, now I'm going to move this stop up a little bit here, and we're going to look for maybe a pullback to about here, and we're going to look for those sellers to roll over again and come in. All right, so now moving stops is not, if it's part of your plan in here, let's suppose we got in half a position or a third of position, or if it's just you want to increase the risk on this event, then that's what you got to do, right? Maybe it's your time frame that you're looking at, you're looking at still this is in play. In fact, you can even put another limit sell up in this area in here, because this is where the sellers came in. And now you're looking for follow through. Okay, so a few different ways to manage that. Okay, and these concepts in here. And again, we're still, we had this little pullback in here, maybe shake some people out, stop some people out, but this is where it came to. Okay, so we're looking for those sellers now to continue, and we want to see lots of volume here and drive it into this gap fill of 170 down here. Okay, and if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. Now we're going to get taken into this trade twice. Do we want that? Okay, not really. Not really. I don't like it. I'm adding risk in here on more buy volume coming in here. Not good. I'd rather take the stop. Okay, and I'm out. Okay, so we had a loss on that one, and we widened out our stop a little bit. Okay, so we can still look for a potential move here, but we've got to find our sellers here. Now there's some exhaustion. Okay, there's some selling. All right, and here they come again. This looks pretty good. All right, so I'll try it again here, and get taken into this here. But there we go. There's our sellers, though. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, and now I'm looking for follow through on that sell side. Okay, we've come up here a couple times, but I see a lot of selling in here. Okay, so I'm looking for follow through. Okay, and the first stop here. Now, if you want, there's a couple different ways to trade this here too. You can trade from here, okay, and take some off at the bottom of the range. Okay, because again, it's starting to make a range in here, right? But we're looking for the test to the bottom of the range in here, right? And then we're looking for follow through after that. But what we've come from is one range, and we're starting to create another range in here of value. Not enough sellers or not enough people to think that is maybe worth 170 down here at this time. Okay, now you can see that our first that small take profit has taken place, and look at our break even trade now. This is the add-on up here, guys. If it's called break even point. You can also put commissions in here as well. In sim, it doesn't reflect necessarily your it's not your broker account break even. It's simulated within Bookmap. Okay, but now this is my break even point up here, okay, on this trade event. All right, so I can move it down to break even plus here. Now, do I want to do that? Well, we've been stopped out a few times, Friday and today, on some pretty big winners, and it was a bad idea. So now we're trading back down into our level here, right? And that's where I'm going to take my profit. Now I just dragged and dropped it up here. All right, and then that's it. I'm just looking for that. Now it may continue, but I'm looking for the gap fill here. All right, it met my trade criteria for the profit taking. All right, and I am out. Okay, I am flat. All right, makes sense. Trying to keep it really simple in here. I'm hoping that it's simple. And I'm trading very small size, 1s and 2 lots in here, just to get the point across. I mean, if you start trading some size in here, let's say it's 5 lots, 10 lots, we're going to see a lot bigger numbers, both for losses and for take profits. Okay. Now, one of the things that's pretty nice about this market with the S&P, you can trade 50 and still get filled in here. Now, again, hold on, no trade recommendations in here whatsoever. This is all in demo and simulated environment. There's something I want to cover though after saying that, is a lot of you guys. We want to build confidence, especially like as newer traders. We want to come in here and start to build our confidence in our trading, that we have an edge. We know that we have an edge. That kind of confidence it makes all the difference. And then you start to manage your trade around those areas. But the scaling in and scaling out is the next step once you trust your edge. Okay, and that's where you can make a real big difference in your profit and loss. Okay, tremendous. And this is the next level. But it's okay to just have small wins or big wins, but look for small losses and lots of scratches, okay, to begin with. And don't be worried about that. You just want to stay away from the big winners. I'm sorry, the big losers. You want the big winners, and you want to be prepared for that. But you don't want to take a big loser, right? So that is what we're going through in here and building that confidence with our trade criteria and our trade management criteria. What do I see in the iceberg players? Yeah, let me go through this JMK. I actually was talking with a trader earlier today, and I kind of played around with. I have different settings in here on my iceberg. This is the setting that I use. I do not align the axes, the vertical axes in here. I have different axes. I want to understand this relationship here visually with the different axes. Where was a big event that took place on the sell side or the stops? As you can see, people getting stopped out on this move down. And where are the buyers here? Well, they're in here. This is the iceberg in here. We see a pretty nice one, a couple hundred or so right in this area here. Let's zoom out though, and we still have this reference in here. Okay, so we had a lot of buying icebergs in here early today. And then a lot of selling on the way down, and then now buying coming back in a bit now as well. I don't know if I answered your question, but icebergs are a little bit, it's typically a larger player that's using the icebergs because they don't want to show their size in the order book. So that keeps them happy to be able to get filled without scaring people away. So it can be kind of hard to understand exactly what larger players are doing, what time frame they are trading on, what they're covering from. We don't know. Are they hedging? There's all sorts of different scenarios with that. Now the stops is a lot easier in the sense that who's using the stops, okay? And it's typically a stop loss is what we're talking about. Now you can see I've been entering with stops here, letting the sellers or buyers take us into the trade, right? But most of the time the stops here are stop losses. And stop runs. Like this is clearly a stop run, and also in here these are stop runs. Okay, so it's not just one trader, it's many traders getting stopped out. So that behavior is a little bit easier to understand and also read in here. Now what I really like about the setting I use is it's very different than Scott Pulcini. He looks at the spikes. I look at the summation like cumulative volume delta for both of them with different axes, but it gives me this relative position or this relationship between the icebergs and the stops, and that I like, right? And that's just my style. Okay, Scott is the expert on that with the stops and icebergs. His trade criteria is based on some of these big stops and iceberg events. Okay, and it's not for entry, but it's for him to be alerted to the next setup. Okay, then he looks at the order flow. Right. All right, guys. Let's see. What else do we see here at the moment? All right, there's a lot that we missed today. Some really nice moves that we missed. And then let's see, we got stopped out on one at break even. We got stopped out on another. And we widened our stops out on that one, in fact, and got stopped out. And then we jumped in again after reading that order flow and then looking for our move to unfold. Okay? And which did. We put on another one in here. And did that make sense to you guys? Did you, like if you're looking at a value range in here, this is our value range. And if we're looking for this to be our range, then it makes sense that if we see a lot of selling coming in and that this kind of point of control here of this range, we're seeing more selling below it. Well, then we're looking for sellers to trade to the other side of the range, okay, and then take some off, and then we're going with the trend though, and then we're taking it off at our 170 level that we looked at early on in the webinar. Okay, so that's the simple setup in here. Okay, so this is a range-bound setup. Slowdown has an excellent range-bound setup, which I know a lot of you guys look at. In fact, this might be it. I don't know, Slowdown, if you're in here and if you took that, but you probably would have been in somewhere around here. He's looking for it to trade outside of the range, hit some stops, trade back into the range, and then to the other side and maybe continuation. The statistics, it can, yeah, so the journal is not working this morning, the web journal, but I do have trading statistics here that I can show you, and we can we can go over that, but it's this add-on here. You will need to have it open, and there's you'll need a special version here for the web journal, and you can open it up. Maybe it's fixed by this time. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think it is. So let's take a look here. No, I'm still not getting data. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It'll be fixed by tomorrow though. But nonetheless, what I can show you here is the trading statistics here. You will need to have this open. Okay. So here it is here, and we've got a lot of criteria or metrics in here for I mean several, as you can see. And here's our P&L. Here's our running P&L. We have our maximum adverse excursion, maximum favorable or favorable here, both the post and the regular, and notes we can put in here, and the mode is in sim here, as you can see. Right, so you can take this and copy and paste it into an Excel spreadsheet as well. So you've got that. Now you will have to keep this open, and then you can then put it into the trading journal, or it will load into the trading journal. Okay. All right, guys. So let's take a look at this now. Now we're gonna talk about a few different things in here, and trade criteria. Again, I want to go through. We might be getting our reversal here, okay? At least the beginnings of it here, right? I wouldn't be calling for it quite yet, but like you can see that we traded into high liquidity. We have a gap fill in this area as well, and let me get rid of the drawings here. Okay, just do that, and then we can look at this move here. We can look at our higher time frame as well. This was the move we were looking for into our gap fill here, and kudos to you guys if you had stuck with that trade idea the entire way. That's what we were looking for. We got going through smaller trades. We got a break even and a stop out, and then a small winner here as well, right? Or nice little winner to overcome that, as well as put us into profit here. Again, these are just ones and twos. But let's take a look at this here. Okay, so what are we looking for in terms of a reversal, and are we there yet? Now, I don't see it yet, but it's starting to build. Okay, we have our move to the downside, high liquidity getting filled in here, in here, in here, and also here. Right, we have now, we're still in a downtrend, as you can see, but where are the pockets of buying? Well, we already noted those a few times in here, and we're starting to see it again. Okay, so this is potential a reversal here. Now, what else do we have? Well, we have higher liquidity at a higher level here. Okay, it did get filled, so we made a higher low here. We just made a slightly higher high here. Okay, so maybe we can break out of this range. It just kind of peaked above here and then failed and came back in. Okay, so so now you know, still some back and forth in here, but we're looking for buyers at this top edge to break it and then come back up into some of these other swings in here. Right, so yeah, we might be looking for our reversal now. Okay, so here's a potential flag pattern in here. Okay, this would be our entry for a flag. It's actually, I'm just a little bit late. Okay, and then again, now this is just in sim and it's not a trade recommendation. Okay, but we're looking for, let's see if we can get back up into maybe here for the first move. Now let's actually put into a measured move in here as well. Okay, so we'll look at this is our potential impulse, and look at this now. In fact, I'm going to widen this out here because let's just suppose we did this on Friday as well. Okay, we're looking for a flag pattern, but we're looking for it to work here. It didn't. So this would be a way, if you don't want to miss it, it has to be in your plan though, that this is not your all-in position. Okay, because this is you're at the top of the range in here. We'd be looking for in here someplace on that flag pattern, and yeah, actually this would probably be about it right in here. Okay, now this is where we can enter another position in here too. I mean, this is a little bit it's not really the greatest in here because we're still in this range in here. The flag pattern would actually be breaking out of this range. Okay, so yeah, in fact, we're gonna get stopped out here. Well, we can move it and look for the bottom of this range in here as being maybe the head of the shoulder, you know, the head that's starting to kind of this is our head over here. Okay, so let's see here because we're kind of jumped into this one haphazardly. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to put my my stop down here. Okay, so pretend that this is like a half position, and now I'm looking for buyers down here at the bottom of this range. Okay, high liquidity filled. Okay, that's good. Get our buyers in here. Okay, we put our limit here, and we're missing it. Okay, so you know the reason that we've been covering this on Friday as well as today in here is like that potential move, but then looking at this in here, was this really our flag pattern in here? And the answer, to be honest, is no, because this is still within the range. The flag pattern, what we're looking for is the we're looking for the move outside of the range first, okay, on an impulse move, and this is not it. Okay, maybe a smaller impulse move, kind of, but what we're looking for now is this reversal to unfold. Right. So the reversal criteria in here, and this could turn into our flag pattern, and we could trade back up into this 190 here. Okay, so let's go through our reversal criteria. Okay, and so yeah, we're actually still in this downtrend, and we just noted a lot of buyers in here, and we made our higher low in here. We saw these buying clusters along the way. Okay, there's a double bottom in here. This is nice. Okay, so this is it here. This is really where we have to get these buyers in here. They have to come in here at this 72 level. Okay, we got to see a lot here. Okay, if we see a lot of selling in here, then I'm just going to exit it. Yeah, we're starting to see that selling mount. Okay, this is a bad decision. Okay, and we'll cover it here. What kind of knee-jerk reaction on a flag there, and not a good idea. Okay, just at the bottom of this range here, so buyers can still come back in here, but we had our double bottom in here, so the buyers should have here come in. Okay, this is our kind of imbalance in here, but instead we're getting more sellers here. So yeah, I'm just going to exit that. All right, now so here's the mistake in here, and the reversal that we're looking for here is it has some of the likelihood of it to play out here. Okay, and we still might get it here, actually, as you can see. Buyers might come in here again. Now, if they do, I'll jump in again. We can put maybe a couple of buy stops in here. Yeah, they're starting to pull. See that pulling? Okay, let's see it, buyers then. Okay. Now we're not really out of the woods. Even this is not the greatest. I'm looking for this to carry me into a reversal. So the reversal criteria is just getting set up. So this is actually not a really good idea. So let's go through the reversal criteria so that we don't get caught up in these things and kind of squint at something for maybe a trade opportunity. Okay, so on a reversal, what we're looking for, and we'll go to the Learning Center in here to cover that. Okay, so the go to bookmap.com, go to education, go to strategies, and then strategies and setups, and it's here. Okay, just one video right now. I'll add another one this week, and it goes through the diagram of what we're looking for. Okay, in the head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders here. We were just at this level here that we're looking. We saw on the bid high liquidity getting filled in here. Now we want to look for this volume shift and order flow, which we have not seen yet, and then we're looking for our higher low, which we did note, but we want to see some of the structure up here kind of tested, and yeah, we did have that, so it's not the worst criteria, but now we're looking for low volume pullback on the sell side, high liquidity at a higher area here, our higher low, and now we're looking for our buyers here. This would be our shoulder. Now we're looking for our buyers in here. Okay? So that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're trying to look for in here as well. Okay, we're just we had the idea in here, and in fact, this was kind of maybe the first leg pullback and then continuation leg, and then I said, actually, this is wrong. This is not our flag pattern that we're looking for. Our flag pattern is this. I'll show you. Our flag pattern is looking at all of this as the consolidation zone. Then what our flag pattern, we're looking for the breakout of that on a strong impulse move. We're looking for a pullback that is like about half or less of that move on the way back. And then we're looking for continuation. All right, so that is the flag pattern. Now you can see patterns within patterns. That's true, but that was anticipating it, and we paid for it basically by not following our trade criteria. Okay, so I wanted to look for this a potential reversal, and I got into way too early here. All right, so and then yeah, even added into it here. Okay, knowing that I want to scale into it. All right, so let's take a look again though. Okay, so are we going to get our potential reversal in here? This would be our head now. We're making new lows here. All right, but we're trading into high liquidity. I never mentioned anything about Elliott waves, but you can. That would be the first impulse move would be leg one, Alan. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Just worry about impulse moves and look for it, who's in control, etc. And then you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. All right. Okay, so let's take this guy. Starting to look a little bit better here. Let's widen this out. Okay, we have a few more minutes left in the webinar, so maybe we'll see this unfold. Now, one of the important things that's also in this a reversal strategy here that we documented and is very important is right here that you are trading into a higher time frame level or your ATR. Okay, because reversals can be really tricky, and mention that in the webinar as well, in the video here as well. So we want as much on our side as we can get, and trading into that higher time frame level and then an order flow shift and change helps us a lot. Okay, and another thing to look for in here is very briefly here. Okay, just missed it. Okay, see the we want to see that trend. Can't quite get it. Yeah, see how it will start to kind of flatten out a little bit because there's a lot of absorption here and then some clusters of the buying coming in. Okay, so so let's see the buying coming in, but see how we have not broken. The trend line is part of it, but even some of these little swings in here, we did break it here. Okay, and that's what prompted us to take a look at this here. Now we have not broken it here yet, right? But we're looking for it, right? We're seeing these clusters of buyers. We know we're at our higher time frame level due to that gap fill. Okay, so let's see if we're making this. Is this a higher low in here? Are we getting support in here? Not really. Okay, here come the buyers. And yeah, just don't have all the criteria here. I do like the buying though. I am looking for this to break. There they go. Okay. And let's look for maybe a pullback. Okay. Maybe this will turn into our impulse move here that we're looking for our reversal. Okay. So let's take a look at it. What would that look like in here? Well, probably up to the swing here, 74. And then break it as well. Maybe we'll come up to this swing, 77 here. This is exactly what we were trying. This is what we were looking for over here. Okay, and I was anticipating that move, as you guys can see. So this anticipation here, I decided not to take it because you know, we didn't have all the criteria that we were looking for. Right, so now we're looking for a pullback, and then we can possibly get in here. So now we're looking for a flag pattern, right? Makes sense? So now this is our bigger range here. Okay, so our impulse move, if we're looking for a measured move in our impulse move, this is what we're looking for. Okay, we're looking for quite a bit of buying to come in here. Okay, and we're looking for it to come back up to about this 82 level here. Okay, if you're a breakout trader and this is something that you look at and you like, well, then this is we're looking for it here. Let me get back to YouTube. Any questions in here? No, no questions. All right. Yeah, I really wanted to join into this impulse move here, but since since trading in these webinars, it's gotten a little bit shyer, to be honest, and trying to be more responsible. Like this was irresponsible. And I'm looking for the same thing over here, and this time we got it. This time we didn't. And our trade management as well. Like, you know, we talked about getting involved in some of these areas up in here, which is at the top of the range. You know, you can do that as long as you're scaling in, right? So we did scale in here. Now this kind of will screw up like your trade management. If you're trading ones and twos, it's two is fine, but if you're trading like, you know, three, well then you're sitting pretty. But like you know, we didn't go in a full size then with three on any of these, so that screws up our trade management or our risk management, and we want to be really consistent with this in here. And this is where, like, I really recommend that you use micros if you don't have the account size. Right? If you do have the account size, maybe you're doing 5 lots at a time, you know, and looking for this to trade right up here and you know, take some off, and then you know, maybe you're scaling in, scaling out up in these areas up in here, and then scaling back in. Okay, so this is doing it. Boy, today we really missed a lot. We missed this one on the downside, and that was a pity. I just have to be more aggressive. Then we had a loss, then we had a winner, or we had a scratch. We had a nice move here that we caught on the pullback strategy, scratched, and then we had a a buyer in here, stopped out, and then a seller, a nice win, made up for the loss, and then we're looking for a reversal in here, and this is what happens. You know, if you don't follow your trade criteria, then you know, the likelihood of having a loss is higher. Okay, so that's one of the lessons here, I guess, from today. Follow your plan. You know, if it's the reversal here that you're looking for, if it's the continuation pattern in here, have your trade criteria listed out. You can see that we have it here in the video, and we also have it here. It is here in the video. We have it as a download here as well, but in the flag pattern Excel spreadsheet. But we also have it here in Bookmap, right? So if you go to your setups in here, setups checklist, just click on that, and it by default it is the flag pattern. Okay, actually I added another one in here, so let's go to settings and then do the default. There it is. So this is the default flag setup in here in the criteria. Okay, so guys, this impulse move here, well, it worked out nicely, and our timing was off today on this, but anyway, we looked for it a little too early here, and then this one turned out really nicely to the upside. Not much of a flag. It just really kind of continued here to the upside. Okay, that's pretty. This can be pretty typical. This kind of move like this, when you get these continuation moves, and then you just get this break, and it's a pretty strong break. Instead of this kind of distribution in here, this is it here on this big impulse move. All right, so let's see if we can get a pullback now at this point. It's been a nice strong move up into these areas up here. So let's see if we can get a pullback. Maybe, well, you guys know what we're looking for. First pullback would be in here. Second one here. And yeah, maybe even a third one down here. But these two areas look pretty good for a pullback here. All right, and then you'd look for that continuation. All right, any questions? No. All right. No one over in Discord either. All right. All right, guys. Well, yeah. Yeah, here comes our pullback now, and you know, this might not be the since this was such a strong impulse move like this, it might not be like a flag pattern. You know, it's the concept of the impulse move that we want to go over again and again in this setup, and the concept is this: that you know, we're looking for some sort of measured move in here of market breadth and buyers entering and how much buying pressure they have, you know, people covering, etc. Now, if we get just this really big strong move, and we had a few pullbacks in here, right? We're not looking for something like this. we're not looking for here. Let me clear the drawings again here. That this is going to be the big flag pattern like this. Okay? It might, but because this was such a, it really grinded to the bottom here. It didn't, the distribution pattern in here, or this kind of reversal setup wasn't quite the thing we were looking for. Therefore, this was a pretty strong impulse move, and we might just chop around in here now. Okay, so I'm not really looking for this to be this flag pattern that we covered. I'm looking for some sort of other version of it, and that's why it's so important to understand that when we're going through this continuation pattern in here, there are many different variations of it. Okay, this is the classic one here. Okay, it is important not to understand flag and that pattern. It is important to understand these elements within it. Impulse move, pullback on low volume, impulse move. Okay, liquidity supporting it along the way. Resistance here that stops the first impulse move. More on the bid in here, and more buyers then come in at this higher level in here, looking for that second impulse move. That concept you can see in this move here multiple times. Here's our first impulse move. This is pretty choppy in here, but here's another impulse move, or stronger buy move. Now we're seeing the pullback to it to here. Is it a low volume pullback? This is it's turning into some back and forth in here, right? So we're not getting that low volume pullback. Now, did we get another impulse move up in here? Okay, we see some strong volume in here and in here, but it kind of petered out up here. Right? Well, we're looking for buyers to come in hand over fist. So we're understanding the concept of these continuation moves and momentum moves. Okay, so are we looking for that right now in here? Not really. No. It's kind of back and forth in here. Our answer came in here. Okay, and also here, some selling, stronger selling. So anyway, I just want to go through the different variations so you guys understand them. And then your trade criteria, trade management criteria will be different as well. If you got into it into some place in here, if you saw strong buying come back in here, well, you'd probably take some off at the top of the range in here because there's a lack of buying previously. Right? At least take some off and then look for more buying to try to take it up higher. Right? So these are all the different variations that we're covering during these webinars, and please ask questions. Happy to go through them with you guys and go through this stuff in detail. All right, so thanks for coming, everybody. Yeah, hit the like button if you can. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time, and we'll cover the look for some good events. Look for our trade criteria to set up. We'll go through our top-down approach, looking at the fundamentals, technicals in the bigger picture, then drill down into the order flow, our criteria on setups, and then our criteria on trade management. Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.